For over a century, one of the most powerful kings in the Bible was treated as a myth. No inscriptions, no monuments, no mention in any record outside Scripture. Historians had a name for it. The minimalists' view, the idea that King David was a legend invented centuries later to give Israel a glorious past. Then, in the summer of 1993, a discovery in northern Israel changed everything. A team of archaeologists, digging through ancient rubble, found a broken piece of basalt stone. On it, carved in an ancient script, was something no one expected to ever see. This is the story of how one stone forced historians to rewrite what they thought they knew about the Bible. For over a century, one of the most powerful kings in the Bible was treated as a myth. No inscriptions, no monuments, no mention in any record outside Scripture. Historians had a name for it. The minimalists' view, the idea that King David was a legend invented centuries later to give Israel a glorious past. Then, in the summer of 1993, a discovery in northern Israel changed everything. A team of archaeologists, digging through ancient rubble, found a broken piece of basalt stone. On it, carved in an ancient script, was something no one expected to ever see. This is the story of how one stone forced historians to rewrite what they thought they knew about the Bible. The site where everything changed was called Tel Dan, an ancient mound in northern Israel near the border with Lebanon. It had been the site of an ancient city for thousands of years, layered with the ruins of different civilizations stacked on top of each other. In July 1993, a team led by archaeologist Avraham Biran was excavating a section of an old city wall. One of the team members, surveyor Gila Cook, noticed something unusual in the rubble, a basalt stone fragment with carved letters catching the afternoon light. It wasn't a complete tablet. It was a broken piece, clearly part of something larger, but the script on it was unmistakably ancient and unmistakably important. The fragment became known as the Tel Dan Stele, dated to around the 9th century BCE, nearly 3,000 years old. It was written in Old Aramaic, the language used by the Aramean kingdoms that often clashed with ancient Israel. The inscription appeared to be a victory monument, boasting about a king who had defeated his enemies. This alone was a major find, but as researchers translated the broken lines of text, one phrase stopped them cold. Carved into the stone were the words, "Be it David, the house of David." For the first time in history, a king named David, ruler of a dynasty, was mentioned in a source that had nothing to do with the Bible. Two more fragments of the same stele were discovered the following year. In 1994, filling in more of the inscription's context, scholars now believe the monument was erected by a king of Aram Damascus, possibly Hazael, boasting about a military victory over the kings of Israel and Judah. In the text, the author refers to the king of Judah as belonging to the house of David, using David's name as the founder of an entire royal dynasty, the same way we might say the House of Windsor today. This wasn't a story. This wasn't a legend repeated by religious scribes centuries later. This was an enemy king, writing in stone, treating David's dynasty as an established historical fact. The discovery sent shockwaves through the academic world. For decades, the absence of evidence had been used as evidence of absence, the assumption that if David really existed and built the kingdom described in the Bible, surely something, somewhere, would have mentioned him. The Tel Dan Stele didn't prove every detail of the biblical narrative. It didn't confirm the size of David's kingdom, his battles, or the stories told about his life. But it did something just as important. It confirmed that David was a real historical figure, the founder of a real royal line, recognized even by Israel's enemies. The minimalist theory that David never existed could no longer be taken for granted. Of course, not everyone accepted the find without question. Some scholars proposed alternative readings of the inscription, questioning whether Be It David truly referred to King David or to something else entirely. A few argued the broken letters could be reconstructed differently. This is normal in archaeology. Extraordinary claims invite extraordinary scrutiny. But over the years, as more scholars examined the stone and compared it to other inscriptions from the period, the House of David reading became the widely accepted interpretation. Today, the Tel Dan Stele sits in the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, regarded as one of the most significant archaeological discoveries related to the Hebrew Bible ever found. So what does this mean for everything else in the Bible that hasn't been confirmed by archaeology? That's the question this discovery left behind. If a king as central as David, once dismissed as folklore, turned out to be real, it raises the possibility that other figures and events still waiting to be confirmed might be real too. Archaeology doesn't prove every claim in religious texts. That's not its job. But it has, time and again, shown that ancient writings dismissed as myth can contain a historical core. The Tel Dan Stele is one of the clearest examples of that. A single broken stone that turned a legend back into a king. This channel exists to dig into discoveries exactly like this one. Moments where archaeology and the Bible intersect, and where ancient stones, scrolls, and ruins force us to rethink what we assumed was just a story. If you found this video interesting, subscribing helps a lot, because new episodes go up every single week, covering everything from lost cities to ancient artifacts to figures whose existence is still debated today. So let me ask you this. Out of everyone mentioned in the Bible, who do you think archaeology will prove next? Drop your guess in the comments. I read every single one, and your answer might just become the topic of the next video.